Hello. You are listening to the Beaned Out Pod. This is Kieran, and today with me I have Mitchell Celicious of Celicious Coffee. Mitchell is a newly minted Q Grader. Yay.
Thank you.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Awesome.
Awesome?
Absolutely
amazing.
awesome.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, so let's just, without any further ado, we should just get right into it. Can you give me a little bit of your background in coffee, like where you started, and how your career got kicked off?
Yeah, so I'm from Chicago. I was born in Ravenswood. And I found a job in coffee kind of part-time while I was going to school. And school early on was boring when coffee was attractive, and so I gravitated toward just diving into the coffee rabbit hole after tasting my first. It had to have been a natural Ethiopian coffee, but it was an Ethiopian. I just didn't distinguish natural or washed at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What is this?"
Can you remember what your first specialty coffee was?
It was from Intelligentsia.
Oh, it was Intelligentsia. Okay, for sure.
And I was.
So is that where you started working?
Yes.
In Intelligentsia? Nice.
No. Yes and no.
Yes and no.
I worked at a coffee company who carried Intelligentsia wholesale, and tasting that, learning that coffee was this like tropical red berry.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Coffee's a fruit.
That. And then the rabbit hole that was like a lot of YouTube videos and conversations with like friends who were into coffee, led me down just following coffee. So eventually I got a job at Intelligentsia, and then that was the last coffee thing I did before moving to San Francisco.
Got it.
And now that I live here in San Francisco, or when I moved here, I had a job at the coffee movement.
Nice, yeah.
And
well, not only did you just get a job at the coffee movement, you were employee number 6 or 5? Whatever it was. Early days.
Yeah.
Early days. OG team.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you worked your way all the way up to manager there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So you were running the show for a little bit, more or less.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Everyone at that time operated the cafe like they owned it.
Yeah.
You had a lot of, what is it? You felt ownership, and there
was like a sense of pride in putting the product forward that you guys all worked together to create. And it was more than just the cup of coffee. It was definitely, it's like always from the get-go, from what I've been able to experience as a customer initially, it was all like, oh, we're dialed the fuck in, and we all know at the end of the day, this is a collective effort of our entire team putting something forward. And I feel like that's something that I really respected and was intimidated by, honestly, because I was a baby barista kind of when TCM opened, and I always looked at it as oh, that's just the place that I'll never be able to work at, because they're just so dialed in, they all compete, and that was something that I really revered and respected, and also was immensely intimidated by, I think, originally. And now that I work for Brian and Reef in that capacity, in a different capacity, I still respect and revere them, but I feel that I don't know if it's an illusion or something, the self-illusion has been dropped. I'm able to say, okay, they're just people, and even though they are amazing and respectable people in competition and in coffee, I can also achieve those things. And I feel they gave me that in a way. We can achieve all these things because they believe in us too. That's, even though it is a very hard thing to put yourself forward and do. And you've competed several times too, so that's something I respect immensely about you. I watched you compete online all the time, so yeah.
I think it is one of those don't meet your heroes kind of situation where but you get close enough to a thing, you peel back maybe being friends with a professional athlete or friends with a celebrity who to you that's just a friend or a peer.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
To so many other people, it's like, wow, you know this person or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the coffee movement experience from afar. It's like, whoa. And now you're articulating your experience now being a part of it.
Right. Yeah. I definitely think getting closer to the coffee movement, I didn't lose any of the respect that I have for the amount of work it takes to like be that dialed into service, the service flow at least. Because, and I've said this to you previously in like private, but like the first few times that I worked at Balboa to like cover shifts and fill a time, I got my ass kicked. I was not.
It's hard.
I pride myself in being like more or less like plug and play. Like if like you put me on a bar anywhere, like I should be able to like work my way through whatever like I need to like make sure I'm contributing to service in a way that's not detrimental to the rest of the service. And I feel like I was really like put through the ringer without any experience. Like Brian was really nice. He's like, you're doing like an immensely great job. Like without you, none of this would be working. And I'm so happy that you're here. And like, it made me feel good. But at the same time, it's like, I knew I was getting my ass kicked. Like, I'm like, this is like a lot more than I thought it was going to be, but it was amazing. It was fun. The hours went by really quickly. And I feel like, yeah, it's a different experience when you're on the other side of the counter for sure. Like being able to like see how everything works on the back end, it's just like, yeah, for sure. One of those things that was very humbling for me. Yeah. So we talked about your transition from Chicago to SF a little bit. But I feel like one of the big things that you and I have connected immensely on is the Q certification. And like we did take Q classes together at the Crown. So my second round, your first round. Now that you've passed as well, yeah, like, can I ask you how difficult do you think the process was for you, or how difficult was like all of the exams, the week-long process, like initially at least for the first round, and then also for like this last round that you did?
There was a lot of I had a lot of anticipation for years, and like since I started in coffee, talking about that cafe that carried intelligentsia. When I began the YouTube rabbit hole, I learned about the Q, and I was like, wow, this would be so cool. Oh my goodness. And right. I had reverence for the people that held that certification. And so even over the years, even as other people would talk down or diminish, like, you don't need that to taste, which, I mean,
oh, sure, yeah.
I agree to an extent. I hear the perspective of the people who share those thoughts, but I walked away with so much value from taking the course.
I agree.
That first time I had 2 retakes, so I did not pass, but every lecture, all the notes I took, every exercise and every exam, I walked away thinking, man, even if I don't get my certification, I had learned an incredible amount from taking the Q course. But yeah, anticipation is the word that like came to mind immediately when you were asking, because it's so within coffee, it feels very hyped. It's like, oh, you're
Q?
Yeah. Some people are like, you're like,
oh, sure.
There's an awareness of it has a reputation.
There's a gravitas to it.
Yes.
Like the reputation of the cert precedes you to a degree.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
But so like, would you agree with some of the sentiments of others that like the Q is equivalent to a sommelier? And I have my own opinions about this, but like, is it equivalent to a sommelier in like wine or in sake, or like the alcohol industry, in beverage industry?
I think it's just language used to articulate what it is. That's the closest thing that most people know.
Sure.
But
it's hard, right, to like equate.
I don't think you can really equate it to. Yeah.
I would agree for that, for sure. Mostly because like, in my opinion, in my mind, sommeliers primarily are like service forward or like customer facing. And yeah, they need to know all of these things in the back end and like study to be certified. But at the end of the day, Q Graders aren't going to service. They're not like serving. I mean, we are, but like they're not like meant to serve, like that's not the reason why you get the certification. I think for me, like as a service person, I don't use the skill set that like the Q exams and the preparation gave me in an everyday service like setting. That's the majority of like I think what I wanted to or what I would say for like the sommelier comparison. Yeah, I don't know how you feel about that though.
I mean, I will say I can't properly confirm or deny the comparison of the Q to a wine sommelier because I don't know what's fully involved with the wine certifications.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I do know that some restaurants I encounter sommeliers and they're in charge of the wine program or the wine list or the whatever it is I will be experiencing.
Right.
And you're right, not often is a Q grader the person in service at a cafe delivering the coffee or curating a menu.
Sure, right.
But
that makes sense. I think the final answers, they're just different things. Like they fulfill different roles in each business. Yeah, I agree. Okay. Who do you think the Q is for then? Like, why should people be interested in taking Q certification classes, especially with the way it's changing up now in terms of ownership, in terms of the forms that we're using to evaluate coffee? Like, who do you think would benefit most from taking these classes?
Can I go backwards for a second?
Yeah.
I think part of the anticipation I felt with going into the Q was wanting to do everything correctly. And that's when I had the form in front of me to calibrate with the group and know what is a 7.5
so like
acidity
procedure that is steeped in like collective experience, but doing it so that everybody is on the same page in a procedural way. Is that what you're thinking? Like the right way is like a procedural way to evaluate.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me phrase it like this. Because I knew the Q, I personally perceived the Q as something so highly regarded. I wanted to fit I wanted to pass this so that I can like fit into the mold of properly categorizing things. Like, I don't want my perception of acidity to be so off, because if I'm off and this certification is so high and esteemed, I'm like, wow, I want to get there. So I had the pressure or the anticipation to perform well. And by performing well, I mean performing accurate.
I see. Okay.
I wanted to step up to what I thought people had a calibrated like standard to. I didn't want to fall short of that standard.
I see. Okay. And that's what drove the anticipation for. I see.
Yes, I had this like kind of I choose anticipation, but like anticipation, adrenaline, anxiety, this like this pressure to do this accurately because I want to feel affirmed in what I'm tasting, what I'm experiencing, and I had a preconceived hope for what the Q might do for me.
I see.
But
so it was. I mean, for me, it was a confidence booster in like what I like am able to like articulate and identify within a coffee. Like that's something that I feel like I definitely got out of. Not even passing, because like the first time I didn't pass either, right? So like after I took the course and failed, I was like, well, at least I can say these things. Like I've gone through some of it. I've passed a majority of it. I know to a degree what I'm talking about, right? So I definitely agree with you. Like there's a newfound confidence, not even passing it, but having just taken the courses. Yeah. Okay.
I do think that the person serving coffee, if they hold a Q certification, that's very valuable. I think at the end of the day, what the Q tries to do is to get everyone on the same page so that we have shared language to communicate our experience of a coffee. And so whether or not I prefer or don't prefer certain attributes of a coffee shouldn't detract from the overall experience. Like, I should be able to articulate, like, this coffee is very sweet. Personally, I don't like that. But it's objectively a very sweet coffee, like, I don't know, brown sugar.
Right. Okay.
And I think that's valuable in a cafe. I think if you can articulate flavor, especially if you're a wholesale cafe, if you can articulate your personal flavor experience, that's not just what was written on the bag for you by the roaster.
Yep.
I think your customers will really appreciate that. And it gives opportunity for nuance within the flavor. Like, oh, I see why this person says it tastes like that.
Right.
Versus, like, it says this on the bag. I don't taste that.
Sure.
Like, that's a very different...
subjective experience for me.
That kind of... I think it brings more hospitality. So a queue is beneficial within the cafe. But to really to respond to the question... I think anyone serious about coffee, like just coffee straight, not really milk drinks or fun mixed drinks, but just like tasting coffee, will benefit from the queue. Whether you're a roaster, green buyer, or you have to dial in every morning a batch brew or a pour over, like I think...
From a professional sense.
Anyone, professionally about coffee and for coffee will benefit from taking the queue.
Beautiful. Okay, I think the last major question in my mind for the queue segment is surrounding like the transition again from this CQI to the SCA, and how we have to end up using like the new form and like with the new program. I know the details are still a little bit muddy, and we've obviously been able to talk to like our queue instructors about it, but from what you understand, can you tell me what the main differences are going to be moving forward from this current iteration of queue into the SCA iteration of queue with the CVA as the main form for evaluating coffee? Like, has Evan told you much about that kind of stuff? I've only gotten my information from watching Sandra Burrow's like reels and stuff like that, and I've talked a little bit to Evan, but not really, admittedly not really enough to like know like concretely what the differences are going to be. I've looked at the form and it kind of, and maybe I'll share my opinion really quickly on the form, but I think it just feels like a little looser than it was before. Like there are numbers, but it's not a hard, like this is a hard value of like what this coffee is scoring at. I feel like they're trying to get away from that, it seems. But how do you feel about the CVA if you've looked at it?
I mean, personally, I am not your guy to ask.
Okay.
I haven't yet seen the form. I am looking to take the like evolved queue or the like,
CVA for cuppers class,
but
that's all we have to do because we already
but I don't know what it looks like. I only know what I've heard from other folks, and I don't think that's enough data to speak about it.
Gotcha.
At least personally, I have to.
We'll circle back to that one.
Yeah.
I briefly mentioned your competition experience. So you've done Brewers Cup, you did barista.
Yes.
And you've done Coffee Masters.
Yes.
So, I mean, Coffee Masters seems like really intense to me, because it's I feel like it's a more comprehensive evaluation of a coffee professional skills in general, whereas like barista seems very focused to espresso and like signature bev. Brewers is super focused into just filter coffee. I'm looking at doing tasters this coming year. Josh has done brewers. So like in your mind, which of the three that you've done so far has been the most taxing, but also the most rewarding?
I think maybe the most rewarding has definitely been the Coffee Masters competition. That is a very different crowd.
The format is also very different.
So the competition itself and who is admitted or who's attracted to Coffee Masters is very oh my gosh, when you're with them, there is this interesting Hunger Games experience of
Okay.
you are eliminated and you go on, but like you're all facing the same thing, going like up on stage and you're competing, and then at the end of like elimination, you just kind of like root for the next person onward, and you're not really like head to head, because why I'm saying all of this is
so it's points based, right?
It is points based. There is elimination, and you end up just really close friends. I did with the folks who compete at the Masters competition. Right. I think the atmosphere of competition has just changed over the years since like early 2010s, but it's not as cutthroat as what I have heard before in the past. Even at the Brewers stage,
everybody seems very supportive of each other now. Yeah,
I think in the coffee community, people are more warm as competitors, supporting each other.
I feel like there's this onus on everybody to be supportive out of the interest in like maintaining these competitions, like keeping them alive, because like if there's division, I feel like it's very hard to like get them together, right?
Yeah.
So I can definitely see that for sure. Like as a baseline, everyone's just like, just be fucking nice to each other, like be supportive of each other. But that's like driving community, right? Like that's what the big part of these events should be. So that makes sense. The tracks.
So to rewind though, my most rewarding competition experience has definitely been the Coffee Masters competition, because you are not waiting to get to the world stage to interact with international competitors.
Right.
Where in the SCA competitions,
you have to make
for brewers and barista, you're competing within the US.
Right.
Only after do you get to compete internationally. But at Masters, you get to compete internationally. And so you get to make international companions, roaster connections, lifelong friends. That's been so rewarding.
Yeah, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Are you competing anytime soon in anything? Anything like lined up?
I just had a conversation about this, and I don't know.
Okay.
It's hard to, like, competition is a very weird thing, because the people that are winning these competitions, they're great, but unless there's a big sponsorship from the company that they work from, or some other incentive, something has to drive them to compete.
For them to compete,
Yeah, and what you get out of it isn't. I don't have that incentive. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't have a big drive to compete in this season, but I am not against it. If the opportunity comes up, I might do it again.
Okay.
I love the community that surrounds the competition.
Oh, for sure.
So I love seeing the folks.
Okay, yeah. Are there any projects that you want to like talk about that you're working on in the meantime, or like since you are technically not with the coffee movement anymore, you're doing your own thing, you're doing solo work and consulting, like is there anything that you want to share, or anything that you're like working on that you're excited about?
I don't know that I am excited in coffee right now.
Okay.
I'm navigating a weird space of, now I have the Q. I've wanted that for years. But now being certified, I'm like, why did I want this so badly?
I feel that. Yeah.
And I am now thinking about ways to use it that's beyond what we had just said, beyond the service aspect where I can articulate coffee to a customer.
Right.
I'm looking to do more with green sourcing and roasting, because I want to work from the barista side, or like customer side, or I guess at the
one end of the value chain.
Yeah, I want to go up the value chain closer to working with coffees, and so finding what that means in this direction for me is the next thing. And
amazing. Okay.
The only reason I'm not excited about that is I have not navigated that space before, so I'm a little like
trepidatious.
Yes.
I see. But I'd be nervous too. I feel that. Yeah. That would make me a little bit cautious about what the next steps would be.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Mitchell, What is your hot take in coffee?
Terroir is an unhelpful word.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. Because, like, people don't know what the fuck it means in the first place.
Correct.
Like, there's no, like, I think, at least as a borrowed word from wine, right? Like, there is some preconceived notion that it's like this thing that has immense value and effect on, like, why something is priced the way it is. But why do you think it's unhelpful?
Science.
Okay.
And the way the word is used is actually why it's not helpful, I think.
Sure. Okay. As a descriptor, or like as like when you
well, initially it entered the language of flavor description as a negative attribute. It tastes earthy, soily, dirty.
Oh.
It is terroir. Like terroir. If you transliterate it, it tastes terroir.
Okay.
And so when it was first used to describe wine, it was a negative attribute.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And the way it was spun, there's a curious history worth looking into about it. I encourage everyone to look at it for themselves. Okay. And why. I think the reason I think it's a hot take is because I hold this opinion that is counter to. Oh yeah, it's a hot take. It's counter to a lot of the industry, saying or using or how they're using it. But every time I hear it, I think it's just very not helpful.
Sure, I see. Okay. I'm sure this is the first of many conversations that we'll have with you. But thank you so much for being here today and talking with me. Yeah. Again, this is Mitchell Celicious. Give him a follow at Celicious Coffee on Instagram. This has been the Beaned Out Podcast. Yay. Thank you guys for watching and listening wherever you guys are consuming media. Bye.
Thanks for having me.